statistics of our report. We're going to class. Great. Now, I want you to please look at these statistics. Which one in your opinion is the most important and why? Pause the video while you read. Okay, so in my opinion, number 2 is one of the most important because there was a decline in the USB population of approximately 70%, which is a lot in my opinion. And as we discussed, bees are very important. Let's continue. Please go to student book page 92, exercise A. Here, we need to match each graph or chart to 2 sentences. Look at the example. The cost of renting a hive rose from $55 to $135 in 3 years. That is, of course, letter C, because as you know, we have year 1, it was about 55, year 2, almost 100, and year 3, it's almost 140, right? So that's why we'll match it with letter C. Let's match number 2. There was a decline in the USB population of approximately 70%. Which one would you say? A, B, C, or D? That's right, it's going to be letter A, because as you can see, it's the USB population in millions. Okay, pause the video and work on the rest, then come back to check. Let's see. Number 3. The majority of almonds are grown in the US. This is, of course, letter B, right? The number of bee colonies in the US fell by more than 70%. A. 5. There was an increase in the number of hives worldwide of about 45%. This is letter D. The US accounted for over 70% of global almond production. B. Globally, the number of hives increased by roughly 45%. D. And finally, there was a rise of just over 145% in the cost of hives. That is going to be letter C. Did you get this right? Great. Now, please go to workbook page 64, exercise A. Here, you're going to look at the graphs and charts and complete the sentences. Look at the first. Approximately 2.5 million people per year experience a severe allergic reaction to fire ant stings, which accounts for % of all victims. So in this case, we're going to take a look at number 1 because it says the number of people stung by fire ants. Now, the 2.5 million, would that be the 27% or the 73%? That's right, it's going to be the 27%. So that's why we're writing it here. Now pause the video and work on 2 and 3. Okay, we're going to check this together in class. Now, please read these sentences and think about this. Do they have exact numbers? Pause the video while you think about this. No, right? If you notice, they are approximate numbers. So, these are some expressions that you can use to give approximate numbers. We can say over or more than, nearly, almost, or up to when we have like a limit, about, approximately, or roughly, which could be a little bit more or a little bit less. And of course, if there is less than a certain number, we can say under or less than. Okay, let's continue. Now, what goes after the preposition I circled? Pause the video while you think about this. Well, let's see the first sentence. The bee population declined by more than 70%. In this case, if you notice, we have a number. Globally, the number of hives increased by about 45%. One more time, we have a number. There was a decline in the bee population. In this case, we have a noun or a noun phrase of 70%, a number. A rise of 145% in the cost of hives affected farmers. After all, we used a number. So, we're going to use in when we're going to use a noun, such as in the bee population. And if you're going to give a number or approximate number, you can use the prepositions by, of, or to. We're going to take a look at them more in depth in class. Please go to page 92, exercise B. Here, what we need to do is to choose the correct preposition to complete this text. Let's begin. Researchers are concerned about the decline bee colonies. In we're going to see some blame hard winters. The number of bees in a hive drops by or for 10%. However, in recent years, beekeepers have seen an annual fall of 30% in the number of hives in their hives, of bees in their hives, sorry. Some had losses of 50%, and some even lost 90% of their bees. Overall, the US experienced a decline of 70% in its total bee population. However, this problem does not exist everywhere. In fact, globally, there has been an increase of 45% in the number of hives, and honey production has also risen by 100% in the last 50 years. Okay, so if you notice, we have some spaces in blank that you need to complete. I already did the first one for you. We have the symbols plus and minus, which we know represent about approximately or roughly. Pause the video and complete the others. We're going to check in class. Okay, great. Let's continue. Now, let's go to workbook page 64, exercise B. Here, we're going to circle the correct preposition just like in the previous exercise. But after you do that, I want you to complete the report with the expressions in the box. So if you notice here, we have this symbol that we know is nearly, almost, or up to. Pause the video while you work on this. Okay, we're going to check your homework during our lesson. Now, during our lesson, we're going to write a report. So would you like to write a report on remote learning or remote working? Okay, now that you have chosen, I want you to please write at least 5 things that you would like to include in your report. Maybe productivity, sales, clients, homework, energy, people in the office, the time that they are going to work or to that their classes are. Think about this and write your ideas. We're going to share in class, okay? I will see you then. Bye-bye!